Imagine a world where the sky is not a peaceful void, but a battlefield of cosmic proportions. For the ancient Norse, every sunrise was a victory, and every sunset a prayer for the light to return. They looked at the sun and moon not as burning gas or rocky spheres, but as divine chariots fleeing for their lives. The celestial bodies were being hunted by something ancient, hungry, and absolutely relentless. This was the legend of the eternal chase. Two giant wolves, Sköll and Hati, destined to run across the fabric of time until the very end of the universe. Their mission was simple: to consume the light. Skoll, whose name means treachery, is the stalker of the sun. He is the shadow that follows the day, a constant reminder that even the brightest light can be overtaken by a patient and dedicated predator. Behind him, his brother Hati, the hater, claims the night. He pursues the moon, Mani, with a cold, calculated fury. Together they represent the inescapable cycle of day and night, life and inevitable death. But where did these celestial monsters come from? To understand the children of the sky, we must look down into the darkest, most forbidden forest of the Viking world, the legendary Jarnvidr, or the Ironwood. It is said that in this iron forest, an old giantess gave birth to a brood of monsters. These were the sons of Fenrir, the great world breaker. Sköll and Hati were the most powerful of this terrifying lineage. From the moment they could run, their destiny was etched into the stars. They were cast into the heavens by the gods, perhaps as a way to maintain the speed of the sun and moon chariots. The Vikings believed that if the sun chariot slowed down even for a moment, Skjöll's jaws would snap shut. This fear turned every solar eclipse into a moment of absolute, paralyzing, existential crisis for the entire Norse civilization. When the shadow began to eat the sun, the people didn't see an astronomical event. They saw Skjöll's teeth. They saw the beginning of the end, and they knew they had to act to save their gods. Thousands of men and women would rush out of their longhouses, grabbing their iron pots, their wooden shields, and their heavy swords. They would scream at the top of their lungs, creating a wall of sound. The goal was to frighten the celestial wolves. They believed that Sköll and Hati were not invincible, that they could be startled into dropping their prey if the noise from the earth was loud enough to reach the stars. And every time the sun returned, the Vikings celebrated. They believed their voices had saved the light. But in the back of their minds, they knew the wolves were still there, still running, still hungry. This tradition reveals a profound psychological truth. Humans have always used stories of monsters to explain the uncontrollable movements of the cosmos. To the Vikings, the wolf was the only creature fast and fierce enough for the job. But the legend of Sköll and Hati is not just about astronomy. It is about the nature of a predator. It is about the alpha spirit of persistence, the ability to stay on the trail for an entire lifetime without ever giving up. To understand Sköll and Hati, we must look at their father, Fenrir. He was the ultimate symbol of chaos, a beast so powerful that the gods had to sacrifice everything just to bind him in magical chains. Fenrir's rage was passed down to his sons. While the father was trapped in the earth, the sons were free in the sky. They became the instruments of his revenge, keeping the gods in a state of constant, heavenly anxiety. In the Ironwood forest, the giantess who raised them fed them on the flesh of fallen men. This gruesome detail in the sagas suggests that Sköll and Hati were not just animals, but supernatural entities fueled by human mortality. This connection to death is crucial. The Vikings saw wolves as the cleanup crew of the battlefield. By putting wolves in the sky, they were acknowledging that even the stars and the sun must eventually die and be consumed. The names themselves, treachery and hatred, tell us how the Vikings perceived the world. They didn't see nature as a kind mother, but as a dangerous force that was always looking for an opportunity to strike. But let's look at the science of the chase. In the wild, wolves are known as persistence hunters. They don't always rely on a quick burst of speed. They rely on the fact that they never stop coming. A wolf can travel over 50 miles in a single day. They wear down their prey by being an ever-present shadow. Sköll and Hati are the mythological personification of this biological reality, the hunt that lasts forever. The Vikings observed this and applied it to the heavens. They saw the sun moving across the sky and assumed it was running because something was behind it. They projected the terror of the forest into the stars. Interestingly, some scholars believe Skoll and Hati also represent sundogs, the optical phenomenon where bright spots appear on either side of the sun. These dogs, or wolves, appear to follow the sun through the mist. It's a perfect example of how ancient people turned complex optics and astronomy into a high-stakes drama. Why talk about light refraction when you can talk about giant wolves trying to eat the source of all life? The hunt also had a specific order. Skoll was always destined to be the first. In the Viking mind, the loss of the sun was the ultimate catastrophe, even more so than the loss of the moon. Light was safety, darkness was death. Hades' pursuit of the moon was seen as a way to explain the lunar cycles. When the moon vanished during a new moon, it was because Hati had momentarily tasted his prey, only for it to escape again. But the chase is not just about the wolves and their prey. It's about the charioteers. Sul, the driver of the sun, and Mani, the driver of the moon, were said to be siblings, constantly whipped into a frenzy by the howling behind them. The horses pulling these chariots, Arvakur and Alsvidr, were protected from the sun's intense heat by a massive shield called Svalin. If the shield fell, the earth would burn. If the horses slowed, the wolves would strike. Everything in the Norse universe was held together by speed and fear. It was a world on the edge of a knife, where the balance between light and darkness was maintained by the hunger of the ghost wolves. Now, let's look at the alpha spirit perspective. Why does this myth resonate with us even today? Because we all know what it feels like to be chased by time, by debt, or by our own inevitable future. Sköll and Hati represent the things we cannot outrun. They are the personification of the clock. In the wild, a wolf doesn't need to be faster than its prey. It just needs to be more patient. This patience is terrifying. Wolves have a psychological impact on their prey that few other predators can match. The mere sound of a howl can change the entire behavior of an ecosystem. This is the ecology of fear. The Vikings understood this ecology of fear perfectly. They lived it every single day. By putting wolves in the sky, they were acknowledging that the entire universe exists within this same predatory dynamic. But what happens if the predator wins? The Norse sagas are unique because they don't promise a happy ending. They promise a final, explosive showdown where the monsters finally get what they want. The prophecy of the Völuspá tells us that at the end of time, the stars will fall from the sky, the earth will sink into the sea, and the sun will turn black. This is the moment Skoll finally catches Sul. Hati will do the same to the moon, spraying the heavens with the blood of dying stars. It is a violent, visceral image that shows how much the Vikings respected the raw, destructive power of the wolf. But why would the universe want to end? In Norse mythology, destruction is just the precursor to a new beginning. But the ghost wolves are the necessary agents of that destruction. There is a biological parallel here too. In nature, predators are essential for the health of the system. They remove the weak, they prevent overgrazing, and they allow new life to flourish. Without the wolf, the forest becomes stagnant and sick. Without Sköll and Hati, The Norse believed the universe would become static and old. The chase provides the energy that keeps the world moving. This brings us back to the alpha spirit. It's the drive to keep moving, no matter how far the goal. Sköll and Hati are the ultimate marathon runners of the spirit world. Think about the leather boots we see in these legends. They are a symbol of the journey. They represent the protection and the preparation needed for a hunt that lasts for millennia. Every step Sköll takes is a step toward his destiny. Every mile Hati covers brings him closer to the moon. They don't complain about the cold or the distance. They just run. What can we learn from this relentless pursuit? In our modern lives, we often give up when the sun goes behind a cloud. But the celestial wolves remind us that the chase is where the meaning is found. The Vikings didn't want the wolves to win, but they respected them for trying. They honored the predator because they knew that in a harsh world, the predator's spirit is the only thing that survives. As we approach the final chapter of the myth, we see the signs of the end. The Fimbulwinter begins, 3 years of snow with no summer in between. The earth grows cold, and the celestial wolves grow larger. The sky turns red with the blood of fallen warriors. The gods prepare for their final battle, and in the heavens, Sköll and Hati finally close the gap. The distance between the jaws and the light is zero. In a flash of darkness, the sun is gone. The moon is extinguished. The world is plunged into a chaos that even the loudest shouting and banging of shields cannot fix. The monsters have won. This is Ragnarok. It's the moment the biological and the mythological merge. The ultimate predator has consumed the ultimate prey. But this is not just a story of death. It is a story of transformation. The Vikings believed that after the fire and the darkness, a new earth would rise from the sea. It would be green and beautiful, and the children of the sun would return to a world without fear. And what of the wolves? In the new world, the hunt begins again. Because the spirit of the wolf, the alpha spirit, is eternal. It is the drive that powers the universe itself. But also remember the persistence. Remember that we are all part of the chase. We are all running towards something, and the alpha spirit is what keeps our boots on the ground and our eyes on the horizon. Nature will always have its phantoms. It will always have its ghost packs. And as long as they are running, the world will keep turning. The hunt is life, and life is the hunt. Thank you for joining us on this 15-minute journey into the heart of Norse mythology. We hope you've discovered a new respect for the wolves of the sky and the predators of the earth. If you found this investigation meaningful, please like the video and share it with those who still appreciate the old legends. Your support keeps the alpha spirit alive and hunting. Subscribe to our channel to never miss an investigation. Stay wild, stay focused, and never stop the chase. This is Alpha Spirit, signing off from the shadows.